Yo people, welcome back. Now, the days are closing in as we await the arrival of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2, and Netflix released an official clip of the Sekai Tekai. Now, the clip is pretty crazy because it basically showed us what I and many people have speculated, and it's that the Iron Dragons are the real deal. And they're going to be the big threats in the tournament, not Cobra Kai. Of course, they'll still be dangerous, but they are not the final boss. Which then adds further speculation as to what is actually going to happen in part 3, but that's a whole different video. Now for me, I like that there's going to be another feud with another dojo because it makes things more serious, the stakes are even higher, and it shows there's world building along with showing that the top athletes aren't just from Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do, and it really makes us realize that this is a real global event. It also allows a third party element because it makes the Iron Dragons have beef with both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, which will be interesting because you don't know who to root for. Obviously, we're going to root for Iron Dragons against Cobra Kai, ideally, but we don't know what's going to happen. Are these guys more villainous than Cobra Kai? By the end of part 1, we thought Cobra Kai was the big problem with Kwon and the elite Koreans alongside Tori, but now we've seen how the Iron Dragons just disposed of the top 3 Cobra Kai fighters in a 3v2. Now, it looks like it will be Kwon versus Robbie and Miguel versus Axel if anything, but how will we just get the 2 finalists from those 4 names? And that's where it will get interesting. For me, I have mixed feelings about the clip itself because this whole thing has been Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai, and then immediately a new team arrives and crushes Cobra Kai. And it kind of flattens Kwon's momentum. Obviously, if you go on social media, you see Kwon is that guy. He has the aura points and people love the flips and everything. And to see all of that get destroyed in a couple of seconds is pretty crazy. Now, don't get me wrong, like I just said, I like the idea of Iron Dragons. I just explained it. But the way they disposed of Kwon, I don't know. I don't really like how they treated his character. I feel like his character has now suffered just based off that clip. Especially because it's the clip that they decide to put out there and it could have been anything. So now I fully expect Robbie to beat Kwon. And I feel like if they were trying to do a shock value, then I feel like this clip and this part of the show would have been better as a shock value first time seeing it when we see it in the actual episode. Like I said, it kind of makes Kwon look weak because he was in a 2v1 situation and still lost. Yes, it was just 1 point technically, and yes, Axel has the element of surprise technically, but it just happened far too quick for someone as talented as Kwon, and they're trying to build up Kwon's character, so the fact that Kwon didn't even land a hit as well is kind of embarrassing. I now think that Kwon is going to start building up rage after that embarrassment, and maybe other things go wrong, but I think he's just going to get angrier and angrier, let his rage peak, his ego is going to take over as well because he's the captain. All these things are going to just combine and reach breaking point, and I now think that will lead to something crazy, which leads on to my next video, which is related to that knife that we keep seeing, so stay tuned for that one. Anyways, as for Axel, he reminds me of Ivan Drago from the Rocky franchise. The way he's built, the way he didn't break a sweat, he didn't show any emotion. His character benefited the most from this clip, and all the hype will now be on him. He is looking like the serious threat to win this whole thing. I do believe he is the reigning champion. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed, but the way this guy's moving and the way the Zara character is moving as well, they look like the real deal, so I wouldn't be surprised if these were the reigning champions of the Sekai Tekai. As I just mentioned, we just got to see Zara as well, another new character. She looks like the loudmouth, arrogant one out of the 2, and it suits her character, it suits both of them. I believe that this is the beginning of her rivalry with Tori. Also, the loss for Tori, it doesn't look as bad as Kwon because Zara did some crazy move to win and it was just 1 point in a one-on-one, so it's normal. It doesn't make her character weak or anything, but what this does mean, in terms of my personal predictions, is that Sam will not win this thing. Like I've been saying, Sam is not going to win this tournament. Last thing to point out as well, Sensei Wolf. We've seen the pictures, the guy looks like a tank, he is ready for this. And the way that Sensei Wolf looked at Johnny and the way Johnny looked at him, it seemed like they knew each other. So that will be interesting to see if it's true. What kind of past do they have together? All of that stuff. And as I've said in previous videos, I do expect the Iron Dragons to be led by Terry Silver. He is going to be in this 100%. He's in the shadows, he's lurking right now, and it's supposed to be like a big surprise. My prediction is that Terry Silver is involved with the Iron Dragons in some way, shape or form, and he is leading them. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Hit that like button, sub to the channel if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 800 subscribers. My next video will be a theory video based on that knife and what I think is going to happen, because I do think the ending of this part 2 will be left on a cliffhanger related to that knife because they keep showing it too much. But yeah, stay tuned for that video. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.